Ryder, good morning.
Good morning, Gloria. Thanks so much for inviting me on your show. It's a little early over here, so hopefully we get through it okay.
You're going to be fine. What time is it over there?
7:30 a.m.
Okay, I'm looking down. It's roughly 5:30 p.m. here. So let me tell you, the future looks good because I'm there. Okay? Okay. Welcome,
right.
everybody, to Inception podcast. So my guest today, who's going to have a conversation with me, is Ryder. Ryder is a truth seeker, knowledge guardian, and a spiritual educator. Ryder uses his real world experiences to educate and elevate others to awaken, question their reality, and expand their consciousness. We're going to have some of that today. Check out Ryder's YouTube channel, Raised by Giants. I'm addicted. Trust me, I'm addicted. Where he interviews others from all backgrounds about their awakening process on the array of topics, bringing people's different perspectives together and what's going on in the world, on the individual and the collective. I know I'm not going to say anymore because Ryder today is just going to let it loose. So you're in your Zoom room and I'm in my Zoom room. Let's have a conversation about consciousness. So Ryder, what's the human experience? What do you think it is?
Well, that's an interesting question. And see, I think that we're a species of amnesia, right? We don't know where we're from. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we're doing here. And that's a big issue. That's a really big problem because it's created a lot of other issues, within us as a species. And because whenever you ask somebody, Gloria, if I were to ask somebody, I'd be like, "Hey, who are you?" 9 times out of 10, they would probably say, they would tell me their name. They would tell me where they're from. What they do for a living, who their parents are, all of these different things, and maybe their birth date and all that. But that's not who they are. That's the projected. Those things have been given to them as a part of this construct that we're in. Like it seems like whenever we're born, we're given an identity.
Yeah.
Right? And then that identity, we're constantly trying to prop up that identity our entire lives. Not even realizing that that identity is fake.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And a lot of people, they don't go deep into that, and they don't try and figure out who they are on a spiritual level, because I believe that we're multidimensional spirit beings, right? We're spirit beings here having a human experience.
Yep.
We're spirit first, and then we're human second.
Yep.
This flesh body is basically an avatar for us.
Yeah, brilliant word, avatar, brilliant. I have a similar truth. I always say it's like I'm a conscious being or spiritual being having a human experience. And what I do, working with others as well, I deconstruct that, which you've just touched on, the deconstruction. What does it mean when we give lip service? Oh, I'm a spiritual being of love and light. I'm having a human experience. Yeah, you're smiling. Having a human experience. Well, that needs to be deconstructed. You've already touched on the second question, from what is a human experience to the second question, who am I? And I feel through the deconstruction of that statement, we can come a bit closer to finding out the truth of ourselves. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do. And a lot of people, they use these catch-all phrases. They'll be like, "Yeah, we're multidimensional. We're spirit beings. We're love and light," and all the while having no idea what any of that actually means.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's a big issue that I've seen in a lot of the spiritual and the new age community. And I don't use any labels. Like, I'm not affiliated with any labels. I don't label myself as anything. I'm trying to figure out my my own path and my own journey. And I feel like when you bring labels into something, you label yourself a new age person or blah 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 blah, then you're getting sucked into like a category, right? And whenever you get sucked into a category, you have to kind of only work within those parameters of that category.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then when anybody steps out of that category, they're like, oh well, that's not right. You can't do it that way. You know what I mean? So it's like, I try and not bring any kind of labels or any kind of things to my show or what I do or what I talk about, because I feel like that's super important. But back to your question. So yes, I believe that we are multidimensional spirit beings, meaning that because the layers of our reality are stacked upon each other, right? They're not separate. Past, present, and future are not separate, right? They're on top of each other. They're coalescing into one moment, and that moment is now, right? And just like past, present, and future being stacked on top of each other, all of the other dimensions and alternate realities and parallel universes are also stacked on top of each other. There's a very thin veil that's separating us from the 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D, and however far up you think that it goes. You know, some people
wonderful analogy there. I love it. So how do we navigate from your truth? How have you navigated? I mean, you've already described what we're not. So it's a whole point of deconstruction. Well, I'm not that. I'm not my beliefs. I'm not my ideas. I'm not my concepts. And blah, 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 and all the way. So we start deconstructing that. So the next stage is, who am I? Well, I believe I'm a multi-dimensional being. I concur with that one. What does that mean? I mean, as a human being, when you're trapped in the limited human expression of consciousness, just the human, as I said the other week, it's like a juxtaposition. You can go human or consciousness, but when you're trapped in the human consciousness, who am I? I'm limited. I can't do this. I can't do that. I fear that. So we got that. We push that to one side. So if we go to the other juxtaposition, which is consciousness, that you're a multi-dimensional being, what does that mean? What does that mean to be a multi-dimensional being? Ryder?
To me personally, Gloria, it means that we exist on every level of reality, right? That we not only exist here in the 3D, but we also, a version of us exists in the 4D, a version of us exists in the 5D, the 6D, the 7D. Every single reality that is out there, we have a version of us inside of it.
Yeah.
And that's the multidimensional aspect of us as individuals, and we just don't know it. And we're not able to fully tap into it because, again, we don't know. First off, a lot of people don't even know that these other dimensions and these other realities even exist.
Yes.
Right? So first off, if they don't know that they exist, then how can they even tap into them? And then whenever they know they exist, it gets really, it's not really that complicated. It's just the awareness, bringing the awareness that we do exist in all of these different realities. See, I'm from the personal belief that every decision that we've ever made actually creates a different kind of timeline. And there's a version of us that is out there living that timeline, meaning that there's infinite amounts of timelines.
Yes, I'm in total agreement. And there's different terminologies to describe it. We're all on the same experience, but we experience it differently. I just say that the Homo sapiens sapien consciousness is so fractalized, it's unbelievable. It's just like multiple. As soon as you change a truth or make a choice, I'm not that, and I'm not doing that, it's gone. But that one is there. That experience is there, but you shifted. So the consciousness has shifted and can at all places, at all times, experience all things in the now, one time. However, at one point, we would say the Homo sapiens sapien was aware of only one, the limited consciousness. But now, Ryder, we are fully aware the Homo sapiens sapien is becoming aware of multiple consciousnesses. And this will lead us to the next part of what is reality, where we can say experiences become aware of this through experiencing. So, for example, if you've been in an experience of outer body, or if you've been in experience of contact with other dimensional beings, been on a craft or anything like that, the limited conscious Homo sapien being, their reality starts to shatter, like someone's smashed the glass. It starts to fragment because you've actually experienced something outside of this reality. So it brings up quite paradoxical in most cases to get, because the mind can't get the head around, is, well, if it can do that, what is this reality? Is it an illusion? Because I thought this reality was a truth, that, you know, the brick wall was a brick wall. Hello, I've just floated through the brick wall, or I've just, does that make sense to you, Ryder?
Yes, it does. And I do think that this reality that we're currently in is an illusion, and that we are in and the only reason that anything is solid, the only reason this table right here is solid, the only reason that the wall is solid is because we've all agreed upon the fact that it's solid.
That's the reality we chose before. We agreed to it. We chose. It's choice. We chose
a collective choice that we've all bought into, a collective belief, because there really isn't anything more powerful than our belief in something.
Yes.
And that's how the dark side and a lot of the controllers, the parasite consciousness works in our reality, is through belief. And if they can get you to believe in something, then it doesn't matter if what they're trying to, it doesn't matter if it's real or not when they've gotten you to believe in it.
Yeah. I mean, they're experts. I mean, we're just touching them slightly. They're experts. They're totally aware of the consciousness and what it means to be a conscious being. And they've chosen to go that way. That's their experience. That's fine. But they are experts on psychological manipulation. Even to the extent, if something ridiculously nonsensical, like, what is the sex of a tuna sandwich, something like that, people will believe it. Yes. And off it goes. Okay. So there is obviously the polarities. To come here and have a human experience, you need polarity. Okay. We need polarity. The polarity is there for a reason. And that's demonstrated by what we can label the awakening, or whatever, ascension, or knowing thyself, thy true self, that I am not the limited human being that gets up, goes to work all day and just dies one day and gone. Yeah, I'm more than. They are fully aware of that. That is how they use what the law of attraction. People misconstrued what the law of attraction is. Just energy. What you put your attention on. They're masters, they're PhDs. However, there are singularity consciences like Ryder and Chris Matthews and others, and that are coming up and saying, hello, I'm here. And this is where we are now. Okay. The reality that we are creating now, I have a very paradoxical question following what we said earlier on about the different timelines. The reality, I was asked this question. So if I make a different choice now, Ryder, and choose to go that way, what happens to everybody I know on that way? And I never, from the mouth of children comes these complex, like, you what? I never thought of that. What do you think happens? Because I do hear these theories, and I don't follow other people's theories, but I'm heard of like two worlds and two this, and what do you think happens? I'm now going to.
Are you referring to like the 5D split, like the New Earth split?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't really believe in that. There's a lot of people have been pushing that whole thing, and
Yes.
I don't think that it's going to be anything like that. And they're talking about it as like an ascension, and that's
Yes.
not the way that it's going to work. The true and real ascension isn't a physical ascension.
No, it's not.
It's a after death ascension.
I had
And
to bring that question up not to look biased, to give it some, conversation.
Yeah.
But then to bring it up and then to break it down, it's not physical. That's what it is not a physical ascension. It is a spiritual.
I mean, think about it, Gloria. We're the perfect human being that's ever been created.
Absolutely.
Right? We're a fragment of source. We're a fragment of God. Right? Whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
We're here having a human experience.
Yeah.
Why would we need an upgrade?
No, we don't need an upgrade.
We don't need an upgrade.
We're
perfect saving. The way that we are.
We don't need saving either.
Nope.
We don't need. I see these constructs like illusions. Yeah, they're illusions to tease us. Just tease. So as as we work upon ourselves to find out who we truly are, know thyself, these illusions appear. Here, have this candy, have this one, or have this fear, or have that, or have that. So if as soon as we put our attention, lock onto it, then we're off again and we go round the houses, then we come back. I mean, I always say, being a mature person, all my existence, this lifetime, I've always had this saying, God goes, Gloria, go right. Where does Gloria go? She goes left. And searching, study, searching, going, and then I come back. So I've spent,
true rebel. Yeah,
I spent a lifetime looking for me. And when you look back, you think, what the fuck? I've just been doing all of that, and it was here the whole time. So at the moment, many of us, like yourself, can recognize the illusions coming in, to try and deter us from getting our PhD, so to speak. We are aware, we know. There is nowhere to go, there is no ascension to do, we've done it. Consciousness does not sleep. Consciousness does not forget. Consciousness is consciousness. So that is an illusion and a belief system. You need to wake up. You need to do this to wake up. So the illusion is there. I mean, your guest, Lindsay, the analogy, take her analogy when she spoke about China, the illusion of an independent state. And I was going, that's exactly what I say. So the illusions are around us on consciousness too. So what I feel is happening is they're trying to control our consciousness by giving us this 5D, or the Savior's coming, or you need to. How do you feel about that? Can you perceive that in a similar way or a different way?
Yes, there's no one coming for us. There's no one that's going to save us. We're essentially on our own, Gloria. Yeah. And if we don't stand up and if we don't do something, then I'm afraid that we're doomed. And that's not me being pessimistic. That's just me being real and as straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm a straightforward person. I like to tell people as it is, because that's what I feel like the more people should be doing. They should be more real. Yeah. Right? They should say what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Always. And if we keep letting this go and no one stands up and no one does anything, and we just keep getting steamrolled over, it's not going to look good for us.
Well, I mean, there again, there can be a bit of a paradox. So we go deeper into that. It's about your individual choice, what you choose to experience. So you've got the likes of, say, us and others. We choose to say, no, I don't want to experience that. It doesn't resonate with my truth. I've experienced my freedom of who I am, so I'm certainly not going to go back into, constraints, how to express myself. I think my truth is on that one, I don't worry or concern myself about the collective, because the collective is consciousness. So I know, I'm aware it's going on. I'm aware it's an illusion, because consciousness itself knows itself, even as it manifests what I call the negative Nellies, the power controllers, the love and lighters, whatever. So this is the stage I think we're at now, where we need to try and find words that, near enough impossible, to go deeper in and deeper in, because if we do not, then we're never going to even come to an understanding is who is ET? Who is ET? Now, if we stay in the Homo sapiens sapien, I am the mind, body, thoughts, then it's just, there will be no, it's a disconnect again. Okay, just like you could look at the Pentagon and the statement they made, the illusionary statement, to get everyone to put their attention over there. If you go the other way with what we know now, we can then say, okay, I'm just coming away to what's going on, as in what possibly could happen, the potentiality. It's there, I'm aware of it. However, it's not my choice, Ryder. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, if they're saying that something's up, it's really down. If they're saying that there's something left, it's really right.
Yes. If it's hot, it's cold. If it's good, it's bad. So it's the flipping. It's, well, 101, change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. What is hidden will be revealed. So what that is going on, and that is just like a distraction to us, an illusion. Let it go on. When you need to speak, like, no, I'm not doing that. Say your piece and on your way. However, as that's going on, it seems in the illusion to be really increasing, and it's coming from every bloody where, and you're going, what's going on? We're all going through this, trust me. I call it the mind attack. I don't know what's going on. And at the same time, we have ET. It seems as if the other conscious ones that chose to go down the negative Nelly road are so aware that they're here. It's now. The time is now. It's not coming. I personally don't think it's 20, 30 years. It's now. In my reality, it's now. And you've got like this cognitive distance in the head. It's like, where do I go? Where do I go? Where you are now, step away from the negative Nellies, we'll call them. What is our relation? What is ET, Ryder? Go that way. What is ET? Shift over that side.
Honestly, I really have no idea. And that's me being 100% honest. I really have no idea what they are, because all that we've ever heard is what other people have said about them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? And literally all that we know in this reality, Gloria, is basically what we've heard other people say. And then we go out and we regurgitate what we've heard other people say.
Yeah.
And we parody off of other people. I feel like it's very difficult and very hard to have an original thought, if that makes any sense. It's because there's so much in there that's plain and simple regurgitation, or something that we've heard someone say that we've turned and changed and manipulated just a little bit to turn it into our own. So really, whenever you think about it, our thoughts are really based on what we've read, what we've heard someone say, or our experiences of life. That's really all that we have, right? Really, all that we can talk about is really our experiences when we're talking about it with like fact.
Yeah, right? I'm with you. Yeah.
So whenever it comes to fact, like you really, you can just only talk about your experiences. The rest of it is all subjective. Okay. Right? Everybody has their own truth, right? Like You
Yeah,
have your truth, Gloria. I have my truth, Gloria. And your truth is based off your experiences of life, and my
absolutely.
truth is based off my experiences of life.
That's what I'm trying to get out of you. Yours, that's what, for example, if you say, Gloria, I'm a multidimensional being, okay,
Yeah.
your consciousness, do you,
That's something that I've discovered, right? That's
you
something
discovered
that
that?
I've
Yeah,
figured out. Now, when it comes to the ETs, I really have no idea who they are because there's so many of them, right? There's thousands of different kinds of species, and where they're from or who they are, like I honestly, I couldn't even begin to try and wrap my brain around them. I mean, you have like the Pleiadians that are from Pleiades. You got the Andromedans. You got
yeah.
the Yael. You got the Yesasani. You got all the reptilians. Right? There's freaking thousands of reptilian species.
But isn't that just like the labels that we give to ourselves? Like you spoke earlier on the identity, you're male, you're Ryder, you're this, you're not that, and it's the same principle.
Well, that's just the way to describe them, and
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's the name that they've probably given themselves through channelers and people meeting them in person or whatever.
do
It's
you
just
sorry,
no,
just
go ahead.
do you obviously my truth, this is just my truth, if I am consciousness and everything is consciousness, even the old negative Nellies out there, then they are part of consciousness but in a different frequency and vibration, so they're consciousness still, they're still consciousness. Would you agree? How does that resonate with you?
I would say some of them. I think that a lot of them are, especially the smaller grays, are just pure non-biological robots.
I hear you on that one. So let's put them ones to one side for the moment and just go back into the consciousness, because we will touch back onto the collective. So if we say everything is consciousness, but then again, we could be really difficult, and I could be really an arsehole and say, look, everything, quantum physics 101 is energy consciousness. But I know what you're saying. We'll just put them machines and the AIs to one side, because there are many that have had positive experiences with these beings in a conscious telepathic experiencing. Robert calls it etching or downloading, knowledge, information that's opening up consciousness and awareness in the singularity. So would you perceive them as an extension of us or a fractal of us as the one source? Or what is your truth? If we went down that dark rabbit hole, how would you perceive them if you went that way with this?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, again, it depends on which ones you're talking about. Because if you're blanketing them all, then because some of them have humanity's best interest, and then some don't.
Yeah.
Some are negative, some are not. It's just like human beings.
Same.
Some people radiate love and compassion and have unconditional love for a lot of people, and then other people don't. They spew hate, negativity, anger, fear.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at it from that aspect, then they would be just like us. Like if we are like that, then there's multiple
just a different civilization, just a different. Okay, that leads us in going on is to, okay, if we can come to that sort of agreement there, why? I mean, I don't know any of the answers to these questions. I'm just searching like everyone else. So hence why I've got the podcast. I want to find that truth. Why are they here? Why are they here, and why are they so interested in us? I mean, I've experienced them all my life, what you call abductions and blah, blah, blah. Why are they here? What do you think?
Well, I'm not trying to be a dick, but again,
you could never
which one are you talking about? Because there's okay, let's just go with the grades, because I've actually had a download about this, and I'm putting a presentation together about this whole thing. So I believe that that the Greys are here to collect our genetic material, because that's what a lot of the abductees, that's what a lot of people have stated, that whenever they're abducted, that they're there to get their genetic material. And now what that genetic material is, I don't know if I'm sure you've heard this theory and heard people talk about this theory, which I think is just the human spin that we've put on it to try and wrap our brains around what's happening, which is that they're from the future and that they need to come back in time to get our genetic material to repair their DNA so that they can be whole or whatever it is. But I don't think that I've ever heard any actual person say that an ET told them that a Gray told them that that's what they're doing. I think that was just a made up thing, and I think it's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
So what I think is going on is that they just come and pop in. They see us like a farm, right? Because I think that that's what we are. We're a melting pot planet where we have a bunch of different races of beings on here. I don't think a lot of planets out in the galaxy have multiple races of beings on it, like we are. You know, so we're looked at like a basically like cattle, right? And we have a bunch of different beings here, and they can pop in and out of our reality as they please because of the contract that Eisenhower signed with the Greys, and whenever he was president, that we basically traded abductions for technology. Like they made it to where they could do whatever they wanted with us as long as we got their technology. And that's been going on for a really long time, but I think that that's coming to an end now. I'm pretty sure that contract is being released, but they've been abducting us for decades now, collecting our genetic material, right? And I think that that's the most nefarious part of it, because what are they doing with the genetic material, right? Why do they need it? And again, I think that the whole well, we needed to repair our DNA because we've been damaged and we're more robotic than we are organic life form. I think that that's complete bullshit. I think that they're collecting our DNA so that they can go out and make their hybrid beings, and they can seed other planets. They can create other because they're geneticists, Gloria. That's what I think a lot of them are. Is they're just straight up geneticists. And that comes from not only the Greys, but reptilian species. There's a bunch of reptilian geneticists. Like that's what they do. They're geneticists, and they go around and they create other humans and other kinds of life forms in different planets and different solar systems and different galaxies. And we're special to them because there's so many different kinds of us on this planet. So many other different DNAs, other genetics that they need. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's wonderful. If you could expand on that as well. So you've let's say that's your truth, your theory, and I'm hearing you. So if you're aware of that, I said I'm just searching all the time. It's just constant. I eat so many humble pies, it's unbelievable. What's the answer, Ryder, from coming from your perspective, your truth? If that is the case that is going on, you're aware that you're becoming more awakened to who you truly are at the same.
Think about this. So, okay, our contract with the Greys are coming to an end, right? So, what happened in 2020? I'm not going to speak about the name or talk about it or anything like that because of the censors. But what happened in 2020? Why would they want everyone to go and get tested?
Yeah. I definitely resonate, because that was the one of the biggest downloads etchings I got at the very beginning. The first one was, I'm in a Monty Python film. This is a joke. And then I got it. Full DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a DNA harvest
Yeah.
because they don't have time to abduct every single human being on the planet because their time's coming to an end. So what do? They make it to where people freely give up their DNA and their
Yeah.
genetic material.
Yeah. I want you to know I haven't done it, all right? I haven't given it up.
I haven't done it either.
That's mine. I'm not giving it away.
But that was a part of the plan. That was what they had to do. They had to, and that's just one thing, right? Nothing just happens for one singular reason or one reason, right? There's multiple layers to everything, but that is one big one.
It is.
Right? It's for a collection, for a DNA database, either probably off-world and on the planet as well. And it's serving multiple people and multiple different races.
Okay, I hear you for that. And I'm that part I so resonate with you. That's definitely something that is my truth. Definitely. So we're getting there. We're going deeper down this rabbit hole. We're aware of this scenario. At the same time, by becoming consciously aware, we're aware of this and others, and what is the illusion. We're becoming aware of everything flipping, up, down, black, white, boom, we're all, what's next? Why? What's going to happen? What can we do? All of them questions that no one is asking at the moment. We can all talk and say, yeah, we know this is my truth and it's your truth. Yeah, we've got our truths. Okay. But we need to go deeper and say, okay, we're aware of all of this. That show you had with Lindsay was fantastic. I mean, it was just so raw and open. Questions were coming. And she mentioned about no one asked any question. I went, she's so right. So let's ask questions, Ryder. What's next? What have we got to do? What have we got to think about? We are aware of what's happened. We have an awareness of what's going on. So where do we go next, Ryder, with this journey?
Well, I think that things are going to get way worse before they get better. But I think that once we get through this big rough patch, and it's going to last for a while, it's going to be a minute, probably close to like a decade. It's going to get really, really bad. And but once we get out of that, I firmly think and I firmly believe that we're going to live in a golden age of humanity. That everything is going to be okay.
How do you think we're going to get out of it? Any ideas? I mean, truth changes for me daily. Yeah. So now at this moment, how do you think, what's the best route for each one of us to get out of this?
Well, I think that humanity is going to come together because we only have one or two choices, Gloria.
Yeah.
We either comply and
yes.
and we go down this very negative road, or we stand in our sovereignty and we pull ourselves out of the darkness that's been engulfing us for decades, right? And I think whenever human beings and the species on the planet currently, once we get the truth and once we know what's going on and what's been happening, we are going to make the right decision, right? And we are going to come together and we are going to stand together and we're not going to falter. No. Right? That's what I honestly believe is going to happen, because I have enough faith in us as a collective. And I know that there's many more good people out there than what's being projected that there is, right? They want to just project all this fear and negativity and all this stuff, right? But that's an illusion. It's like what you were talking about. That's all an illusion. Everything that you see on the TV, everything on the media is all illusion. It's all to try to get you to feed into an illusionary reality. Yeah.
We got the next illusion coming in, like the other side of the world taking back their country. We're not going to go to names, but everyone's now focusing. We've gone past that. It's now, look at this country on the other side of the world. Look what's happening, and it's coming up. and all the atrocities will be on there soon. And anyone that watches TV would just straight back into that illusion. Everything.
And guess what, Gloria? That was set up 2 decades ago in 2001 during 9/11.
Yes, there's another illusion. That's another illusion. And at the time, no, you just know, and you get called everything in the world.
See, they supplant these things in the consciousness of the people on the planet, right? They do that on purpose. Like during 9/11, that's literally all we heard about for 10 years later. They were like, you could literally turn on every news station on TV, and you would see them flying the freaking planes into the towers for hours a day, because they needed to traumatize the people on the planet, right? To supplant a thought, an idea, a belief, a word.
Yeah.
That's basic MK Ultra mind control right there. So whenever they do that, they just have to supplant that word. And the word that they planted in the consciousness was terrorism.
Yes.
Right? And they created all this fear and around terrorism. Yeah. Right. So now all that they have to do is throw up the word terrorism on the TV.
Yeah.
And then that gets everyone triggered right back into 9/11, whether they remember it or whether they're conscious of it or not. It's getting them triggered right back to it.
I think it triggers the individual, because we're talking about the consciousness that's going on here. The individual consciousness, the singularity, it triggers it back into compliance again.
Yes.
And compliance means fear. But then for me, if I sit back and look at the conscious beings that are doing this, or they're not seeing it, I mean, they put it in plain sight what they're doing, yeah? And individual conscious beings look at it and go, and there's nothing in there. And I keep thinking, all right, enough of us, my truth is globally, enough is awoken. I don't follow any other belief system. We got to wait to so many percentage. Piss off. No, we're awake. We may not be fully awake, but we are awake and aware to what's going on. We recognize it before it comes, like at the very beginning. Yeah, we recognize the DNA. I think billions of people, here they go. We spoke about this like 20 years ago. They were going to do the genetic harvesting. So there were I think there's enough to be awake for this. As for the others, I don't know. When I'm saying what's coming next, we know there's going to be more illusions coming. We'll have this one, the terrorists. We may have, I don't know, they may try an ET false flag. I don't know. I only know of multiple future experiences. You know, when you made aware by downloads of what the potentiality of what could occur. So there's many timelines that whatever one we choose to have, that's a possibility of an ET flag that could come.
Oh yeah, of course. And the problem is there's good forces working for us, and then there's negative forces working for us, working against us. I mean,
yeah.
And the only way that the good guys can come in, Gloria, the only way that they can come in and try and help us and assist us, again, they're not going to do anything for us, right? But they can and they will assist.
I'm in agreement. I think they recognize, I mean, I know in my experience, you can't override the free will. And I get that a lot. So why would I give my free will to a human Homo sapiens sapien who's not even awake to who it truly is? It's just lives in the fear state, the compliance state. So I'm aware of that. So if we, in the last few minutes, if we can try and sort of tailor it in, putting it out there. And I don't like to use the word positive because it's been defiled by love and lighters. Nothing going on here, love and enlightenment. I can't tolerate that. Yes, we are conscious beings having a human experience. However, we're in the human experience to experience it. We choose. So we need to act. Yes, we need to do something. What do you think? So not a positive ending to the show. What inspirational, there you go. what inspirational direction or upliftment, or share a few more truths that a lot of us can listen to and go, never thought of it like that, what I could do. To become non-compliant is what we're looking for.
Well, the only way that this nonsense ends, Gloria, is mass non-compliance.
Yeah.
That's what has to happen. And if not, then we are just going to keep getting our dick pounded in the dirt. And they're going to keep kicking us while we're down. And we're not going to get any time to breathe.
No.
Right? And I think a lot of people, they believe that they're too small to make a difference, right? And that is the most sad part about this entire thing, because yes, we are a part of a collective, but we're also individuals in a collective, right? So whenever you heal yourself, whenever you do things for yourself, you take care of your traumas, you are in turn healing the collective.
Yes.
Right? Because again, we're individuals in a collective. The collective is out there, and whenever we take care of our side of the street, that means that that's one more person in the collective that's being healed, right? And then whenever you heal yourself, you can go out and you can try and help heal others, but not until you've taken care of yourself.
I'm in total agreement. Do the work on the self first. Don't worry what's going on at that moment. Be aware, but work on the self first. Who am I? I'm not my beliefs. I'm not my ideas. I'm not my labels. I'm not that religion. I'm not that dogma. And I'm not that. And I'm not that. And I'm free. I'm free to choose. If I choose that, I'm free to choose that. So I'm in total agreement. Ryder, I know we're short for time today. Do we have a little bit longer with you?
We can run for around 10 more minutes if you.
Okay, brilliant. Do go on. Please do go on.
So I think that the big thing here is what I see a lot of people get trapped in and stuck in is the unwillingness to reevaluate what they believe.
Yes.
When presented with new information.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because they're so stuck in these core beliefs that they think are true, but they've never asked any more questions or gone any deeper. They've just let it come in and they've just taken it on, right? And I think that that's a very big thing that's going to change not only your reality, but the reality of everyone around you and help the collective, is when you have the willingness to reevaluate your thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. When presented with new information. When listening to this show, you might not agree with everything that I say. You might not agree with everything that Gloria says, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
We don't have to be attacked. You don't have to try and character assassinate us. You don't have to try and argue with us. You take it on, and then if something resonates with you, then perfectly, keep it, right? And if something kind of makes sense, but it doesn't really, hold on to it. Put it in your back pocket. Put it in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you hear something else that kind of correlates or goes with it, then you bring that thing out of the back of your mind and then you connect it together, and then boom, you probably have a more fuller picture of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, I always say that the fact is, I accept my truth, and I accept and respect everyone else's truth. There's no division. There's a major illusion out there to cause the division, the divide and conquer in all aspects. Judging other people's belief systems. If you start working on yourself and you go, I mean, I'm telling you, I had so many, what I once believed to be true, I'm like, what the fuck? Why did I believe that? Oh my God. But I'm not beating myself up. And the more that I did the work on myself, like, that one's down the toilet, that one, oh, I thought that was really true. Oh my, and I'm going, and then that allowed me, when other people come with their truths, I thought, that's okay, it's their truth for the moment. That's okay to have that truth. I had the most ridiculous truths you could ever think of. You know, depending on the social, on the individual being, the social determinants that you're raised in, your religion, your culture, your economical level, blah, 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 you know, abusive, you could be overloved, underloved, all the crap that goes with the human experience. We're here to attend. But because I started to do that work and going, you know, there was an occasion I was in a relationship and it was a fearful relationship. I can't, you know, fear. And then one day, and I still don't know how it happened, I got up one day and I went, I'm not scared anymore. What was I doing? Like, I woke up from something. If I can overcome that, I thought, I better go and check all my beliefs. Am I really this? And I started to do it that way. And that allowed me to look at others and not react or rear up. No, it's my way or that. No. And we are finding another illusion that's going on now that we need to be aware of is trying to divide humanity in two camps. Are you aware of what I'm referring to?
Yes, everything is about division and confusion, right? Because you know, confusion leads to division. That's the way that it works. They confuse and abuse us. They give certain parts of the country certain information. They give other parts of the country different information. They break it up by state. They break it up by county and all that. Like it's to divide us. Yes. That's really what it is, so that we can't come together, so that we can't stand up, so that we can't take out the real oppressors, right? They want us fighting ourselves.
Yes.
Right? Because if we're fighting ourselves, we can never rise up against the true controller.
Exactly. No, I'm in total agreement. And I think that's, I think for what can we do when, you know, well, let's come back together as one. We've got different beliefs, different this. We're all conscious beings, having the human experience. We're all going through this together. Let's stop the division and have a conversation. Your truth is your truth, and I accept it.
Here's another thing, Gloria. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't want to forget about it. So I think a lot of people have gotten used to being online and being on Facebook and being on Twitter and being on Instagram and all these different things. And it's important for people to realize that that's not reality either, right? All of these fights and all these little things that people are getting into on Facebook isn't real. It's not reality. That's not how people are going to act when you see them face to face.
No.
I guarantee you, and I promise you, right? You can go out and you can, most people are civil. They're not the way that they are on the internet. Like, I can have a conversation with basically anybody. I've had a conversation with really pro, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Pro people like that, you know, about this entire thing. Like, I actually had a conversation with someone that was, you know, that was in charge of distributing them to the military, you know, and we had a civil conversation about it. So it's important to realize that this reality that we've created on the internet is an illusion as well.
And a disinformation channel as well.
Don't get so locked into it.
No, because I agree.
Walk outside your front door and talk to somebody in person if you want to get real.
Even a neighbor. I had a conversation with someone who works doing that process, and I don't comply, and we talk about, just like you were talking about it now, there's no us and then, it's personal choice, and there's no division outside there's no division. Wherever I go, when I'm out in the sort of non-cyber reality, both sides, there is no division at all. The only division is for when you see it on social media. Social media, there's them and us. There is no fucking them and us. We are conscious beings having a human experience. We're experiencing this illusion. Can we not have some fun and get some common sense, and don't ask me questions like, what is the sex of a tuna sandwich? I mean, that in some of the statements that are out there, you know, that others are being compliant to, are as ridiculous and nonsensical as that. Read that again. Can you break it down and read what it just said? Yeah.
Yep.
And do this to do that, but it's not going to do you any good to do this, to do that, but still do it because I said so.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, right, I'm out of here. Get me off. Get me out of this reality. I want another one. I can't do this anymore. You know, Ryder, you are the most refreshing speaker I hear. You're honest, you're sincere, and you can send me the check later. Okay, you're honest, and I don't care what Chris Matthew calls you, whatever the space Jesus or whatever. Just kick him to the curb for the moment. No, you're honest, you're sincere, you're searching, you're looking for your truth. I'm looking for my truth, and this discussion, I think, is one of the greatest things we could do, and we should keep doing. And for anyone who's watching this podcast, please, as Ryder said, take from it what you can. Thank you for listening, and hopefully, some ding dong bells may go off somewhere. I know I've learned a lot already, Ryder. You articulate better than I'm just chaos. As Robert says, I'm like a speedboat. I go, that's just who I am.
No, you're wonderful, Gloria, and I appreciate you so much for inviting me on your show. It was wonderful, and I loved chatting with you. You make it easy and very comfortable for me. And if there's anything that I can tell people out there to do is to create, right?
Yes, we are creators.
Something. Yes, we're a creator. We're a divine creator being.
And co-create like we're doing. I mean, we do have our secret panel coming up if we get you on there. I'm going to kidnap you, Ryder. I'm sorry. The men in the white coats are coming soon. They've got their passport. Get together with others and have a conversation that's normally taboo. Go deeper and deeper. Get together with your friends and say, what is reality? Just ask. Even if you don't know, it doesn't matter. I don't even know what reality is. I'm a seeker, just like everyone else. The only way is and this is where I think Lindsay is a breath of fresh air. She does what I'm scared to do. She's out there. Truth. Ask questions with each other. And on that note, Ryder, thank you for being part of this podcast. I will get you back when you're on the panel if I can nail you down. And thank you for being with us. And we look forward to seeing you all on the next podcast. The conversation is over. You can tell this is Gloria doing it. How do I stop record, she says. It's the first time I've recorded. I see it. There you go. Bye, guys.
Bye.